You're not including that.
Diane.
Thank you. The mayor, the cabinet can sit there.
You don't know what. There you go.
And I thought, mine thought.
Okay, it's 5 o'clock on Tuesday, June 27th, 2023. The time for the Redevelopment Agency of Murray, Utah, Murray City. Let's see, at this point, all council members are present, as is the mayor and GL and Brooke and Jennifer. This is our first time actually having the RDA meeting in the new city hall. So welcome everyone. It's kind of echoes, but it's pretty cool. Anyway, on our agenda is the approval of minutes, citizen comments, and we have a public hearing. So with that, I will let Jared conduct.
Thank you. We do not have any minutes in this particular packet. We don't have them ready for you yet. So we can move to citizen comments.
Okay. Now is the time for citizen comments.
I'm going to clarify things with Barney. Comments about the budget would probably be more appropriate to make during the public hearing for the budget. So this would be the time for general comments for public hearing.
Yes.
Yeah. Usually I don't require a microphone, but this is a bigger room than I'm used to.
Right. Also, all comments are limited to 3 minutes or less, and email comments will be read into the meeting record. Do we have any email comments? Oh. Any other comments? Seeing none, we'll close the citizen comments portion of our meeting. And now we'll go with the public hearing.
So I actually did a PowerPoint for this.
Oh, Brenda.
I'm getting better at them, so I thought I should. So I no longer have to actually try and read a small screen. I can read a big screen. That's good. So redevelopment agency public hearing. So fire clay, I'm just going to go through these one at a time so that you kind of know what's going on. Their tax increment that we are budgeting is $2 million. Of that, the expenditures, we got 358,000 that will be set aside for low-income housing. We don't know what we're gonna use that for yet, but it will be there. 800,000 for the private reimbursements, but we can put in roads and various other, facilities there. Murray School District, if we get that much money, we'll get 244,000. Professional services, we have in there for 30,000, and then it will pay 42,000 in administration. The smelter site, that's the hospital site. I'm budgeting $1 million for their, TIF funding. It's the last collection year. We will no longer get money from them after the next budget cycle. Expenditures would be the moderate income housing, which is 40,000. The Murray homeless shelter contribution, which is 144,000. That is the amount that the state legislatures, as the state tax commission, withhold from our sales tax payments. So, it is allowed to be counted as this. The Murray School District will get $133,000 off professional services for 20 admin fees, and then they transfer to the general fund an infrastructure reimbursement of $265,000, and that will stop in their collection. They will have paid the millions of dollars it cost to put in Cottonwood Street and the bridge and stuff like that. East Vine Street, not a lot happening in East Vine. The tax increment's 59,000. The admin fees are going to be 35. If we find something we need to do up there, we have a little bit of reserve. We can do something with that. Cherry Street, tax increment is 112,000. This is its last collection year. We have an infrastructure project that we're gonna do to add continuous sidewalks along one side of Cherry Street. They're thinking they can do that for $100,000 or less. Their admin fees, and then a transfer to the general fund to reimburse infrastructure of 37.9. Those continuous sidewalks, that project, it's the 48 South Lofts or whatever that is on 4800 South. I can envision someone wanting to walk from there to Lowe's or to the Wendy's, and Cherry Street would be a really nice street to do it on because there's no traffic if it had sidewalks.
Brenda, pardon me for interrupting, but as I just look at the numbers, that's a lot more than 112,000.
Yes, we are using 100,000 of their reserves. They have reserves, so we're gonna use it to, because eventually we're gonna have to either give that back to the taxing entities or spend it.
Okay, I was just looking at the tax increment and the math didn't work.
You are correct, it does not. Nobody else is using reserves. And then, should have the Central Business District. This is where we are standing right now. The revenue from the tax increment is 1.4. They also receive rents on a couple properties, Heroes and Pia Martial Arts of 21,000 for the year. They receive a transfer from the general fund for $325,000 to pay for the land that the city hall is sitting on. They have the low to moderate income housing amount. Community school district, they get 400,000 of that 1.4 million. Professional services, 100,000. Buildings, 100,000. We don't know exactly what we're going to use those for. They could be surveys, they could be land cleanup, they could be moving the Townsend home, they could be a whole lot of things. We just have some money sitting in there, so we don't have to come to you every time we need budget for things that you have approved us to do. Admin fees, some miscellaneous travel and utilities. We have to pay utilities on some of these buildings that we are renting out. Also, they make a bond payment on the property that they own around here. So that is what the Central Business District is doing. Any questions?
Are there any questions at this point?
Can you repeat which ones are going to be expired again this year? Cherry Street?
Smelter and Cherry. So what that means is the city will get their portion of the property tax back. It's not a lot, but they will get. Smelter site's a lot. I don't know the number right off the top of my head, but Cherry Street. School district will then get their property tax back. And all of the different agencies.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Brenda. Hey, this is a public hearing, so I will open the public hearing. If there is anyone in the audience, or if we have any comments from Gmail or email, then let me know. Okay, 3 minutes also
My
applies.
name is Glenn Barney. And first I want to thank the fire department for recently, there's an incident where a canopy blew over a telephone line. And they came by and took care of the situation, so I wouldn't have to be worried about getting electrocuted and any fires happening on the property. So I wanted to give a shout out to the fire department.
Great,
Wow.
Glenn,
Yes.
are you from Murray? I mean,
I forgot.
would you state your city?
I live at 4902 South Fox Elder Street, up Watson there. And I walked over here today. It's convenient, more convenient than driving the long distance over to the other city hall.
Well, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. The other concern I have is in 4868, 4872, and 4874, there's some weeds that are growing very tall, some of them 5 to 6 feet high, and with as far as even approaching. I would appreciate it if those weeds could be mowed down. Also, it's 28 West 4th Avenue. There's some the fields had been cut down, but now there's some look like alfalfa growing up, and whether or not that'll dry out and create a fire hazard. It would be nice to have those taken down before it does create a problem.
Mr. Barney,
Yes,
you are,
it's the 4868. It's the property right next to the fire department. And there's a property
okay.
just to the south of that, there's a couple, one house away from where I live. It's got weeds that are about 5 to 6 feet high.
Okay, you are at the redevelopment agency. These
Yes.
comments may be more appropriate in,
They are on
In the
redevelopment
council.
agency property. Yes,
Okay.
they are.
yeah,
That's
no,
why I
I,
make it in the
I
queue.
understand that. But it may be a little more appropriate at the regular council meeting because this is on the budget. This is,
And I noticed when I looked at the budget for this particular meeting, and there's nothing specifically set aside for cleanup. Even though she just mentioned that there's some money set aside for miscellaneous things, but she didn't have to come to the council each time, and since nothing is specifically set aside for cleanup in the online version of the budget, I was looking at, that means there's nothing set aside to clean up stuff like that. And that's why I wanted to bring it to the attention to the redevelopment agency to put something on the budget so that it can be budgeted to clean up areas within the redevelopment agency property that could cause a fire hazard.
very good. That makes sense.
Thank you.
Thank you for clarifying that.
You're welcome.
And thank you for being here.
You're very welcome.
Are there any other comments? Okay. We will close that part of the public hearing, and I will put it to the RDA for a vote to, but first I need to have it. I need to have a motion. Thank you. Could I have a motion?
I will move that we close the public comment.
Yeah, I
Oh,
closed.
sorry. We're closing. Sorry, I apologize. I will move that we consider a resolution adopting the proposed redevelopment agency budget fiscal year 2023-2024.
Do we have a second?
I second it.
Hey, let's proceed, call the vote.
Mr. Hackasey,
Aye.
Mr. Markham.
Aye.
Ms. Cotta. Aye. Mr. Nunez.
Aye.
Ms. Turner.
Aye. Thank you, Brooke. Okay, and I guess that's it. That will,
That is all of our agenda items. I just, if I could take 1 second, I wanted to introduce the RDA board to Elvon Farrell. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to meet him. Elvon, would you say? Elvon is our new economic development specialist. we were able to hire him away from the Economic Development Corporation of Utah. So he knows his business, and we're starting some proposals, and we'll be bringing those to the art of getting some ideas. So we're just really excited to have him. discuss them
welcome,
with
welcome.
our groups as well.
Yeah.
And just a note that Mr. Barney's comments, I appreciate him bringing those up. We got them by we got his complaints through the email system as well, through the online system as well. So we're aware of those, and we'll make sure the building facilities folks know about those issues. You know.
Sounds good.
Thank
And I
you.
just want you to know, I went to lunch with Jared or with Elvon today, and he's committed to at least 3 months, so.
Did you put that in writing?
That's progress, Mayor.
All right, any further comments from the board? If not, we are adjourned.
And for the committee of the whole meeting, we'll be moving into the Poplar conference room.
Okay, please. What am I signing?
to do this. And then this also record here. Ready, so let's record. Stop at the end. Take care of this. Okay. On that, okay. Well, I'm gonna be in there. I'm gonna be in there. So
Because
just
I'm not here, Gary's.
3 records.
Maybe you should sit up here.
So record. That's it.
Watch it, because I gotta be over there.
If we get started now, you'll have it. So
Yeah, we'll probably
5
do it.
minutes.
Only 5 minutes.
Is that okay?
Okay, now, mine.
Okay, John, we hit record. Okay.
If it goes off, should she like, yeah, if it goes off, she. If it goes.
Oh, you mean this?
His internet. Do that, do that, and then. I can do it. Ready? So it was council meeting said. When called Justin, this is the election, I need to do is not there, you. I done that a lot of properties with high leases. Which we had already. Yeah, you're good. There you go. Okay, see ya.
Take it easy. Tomorrow morning.
We have a budget meeting.
That's right.
Let me get through today.
Yeah.
That's good.
You can get out and start it.
No, I ended up going. Well, I ended up going through this door and somehow ending up around here, going through both break rooms. Finally getting.
Like I'm not sure if I can, or it always gets stuck.
Everybody except. This is great. I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So we had one change on the meeting dates, since I sent your packet out on Friday, so I'll give this to you guys. Thank you.
Oh, Tuesday, yeah.
We're getting in.
It's a tricky one.
It's like you did. But I should have known. You should. You just.
All right, good evening and welcome to the Murray City Municipal Council Committee of the Whole meeting. It is June 27th, 2023. And there I am at work. It is 5:30.
It's still going.
I am Gary Parekasi, the council chair. All council members are present, as well as Jennifer and Patty, and then our mayor is here as well with us. We are going to start, we have approval of the minutes and discussion items. There are no minutes to be approved, so we will move forward to the discussion items. The first item is a discussion on amending, actually, before I do that, welcome everyone to the Poplar Conference Room. This is our first committee of the whole meeting in here. We're excited for several reasons. One, you know, it's a nice bright space, but two, these will be streamed. I don't believe they're streaming now, but they will be on a go forward. We are streaming today, so I'm really excited about that. So everyone will be able to
Finding out.
participate. We are attempting to stream. So with that, it's really exciting because citizens will be able to participate in the work that we do if they can't be here in person. With that, we will move on to discussion item number 1, discussion on amending the regular meeting schedule for Murray City Council for calendar year 2023, and Jennifer Kennedy's presenting.
Okay, so due to a couple of things, one, truth and taxation, and two, the election dates, as you all might know. So we need to adjust some of our meeting dates to accommodate those changes because we don't want to have a council meeting on an election. So the first one, August 15th was originally scheduled a council meeting. We need to cancel that one and move it to August 22nd, which would be our truth and taxation day. September 5th was another council meeting we had scheduled. That is now primary election day. So we want to move our September meetings to September 12th and September 19th. Let's see. Also, November 7th was election day. It's not anymore. So we want to move a meeting to that date and then cancel November 22nd.
21st.
I'm sorry, 21st. November 21st is the new election day. And then we want to cancel December 1st. December 5th, because due to the election day being the week of Thanksgiving, they're giving everyone an extra day to do their canvassing. So we won't have our numbers for the Board of Canvassers, which you guys are, until Wednesday, December 6th. So rather than have a meeting on December 5th and then come back on December 6th for that short meeting, we just thought it easier to move everything to December 6th, which is Wednesday. There's one other change that just kind of came up today. Mill Creek City would like to get a joint council meeting. Remind me what that project is, Phil.
It is the North Transit Station planning. I don't know the
Over by
exact
Fire
acronym.
Lane, for
Yes,
that
it's the
station
fire.
area.
The fire. It's a station for future development. It involves both Mill Creek property and Murray City.
So Mill Creek would like to do a joint, it's gonna be like a workshop, like this kind of setting, meeting with us, and they're suggesting August 24th, which is the first day. So we'd like to add that meeting to the schedule. If you guys are okay with that. I don't know the time, I imagine it will be in the evening.
And again, clarifying, so what we talked about and what we kind of decided upon and will inform Mill Creek is that there's not going to necessarily be votes held at that time,
That's
because
correct.
that would be out of.
That is correct.
It's primarily for the consultants to get information from each of the city councils so they can finalize their recommendations and their planning that they will forward to us in final report. So they would just like to get all parties together so we can kind of talk through things and help them complete their job.
Yes, we would be hosting that meeting.
You have a time?
I don't, it'll be in the evening, my guess is 4, 5, 6-ish. I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware and it worked for you guys before finalizing it.
I don't have my phone that needs in the other room.
Yeah, I'm available.
These two are available. And then, so just in the council meeting, if you guys are okay with these changes, you'll just vote for a resolution and I'll have Brooke read it. So we don't have to do special meetings for the rest of the year.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm sure that.
The election, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving.
That's all I have.
Any questions from the council on the meeting dates? Move forward, thank you, Jennifer, to a discussion on city council travel policy updates. And I'm presenting on this one, but we have others than policies as well. So again, the reason we brought this forward and talked about it a couple times was really around, we had money in numerous different places. We had money in different budgets, and to me, as we're elected officials, it makes sense to have transparency and to have all the money brought together into one central location. And but with that, I proposed a travel policy that would bring all the money together and put it all under the council budget so that it would be very transparent in what we're spending on. And it was interesting, there was a post put up on Murray Citizens about this, and the citizen feedback was definitely in favor of more transparency, more visibility, that sort of thing. So there was a lot of support for that. In addition, I have proposed a cap on travel. I did a lot of thought around this, both in looking at the conferences that we could attend, the cost there, as well as looking at other municipalities, talking to our legislature, different legislative. They're catching something. I think it's right there. I guess because that should be the microphone right there. Talk to it.
Or is it this? Is this? Oh, that's for.
On it.
Okay. And so so after considering all that, looking at the different conferences that we could go to, as well as kind of evaluating all the different travel that we've spent over the years, looking at other municipalities, talking to the legislature. I talked actually to a couple of legislators. They go to one conference a year that's paid for by the state. I just felt that it was prudent of us, especially in a time where we're talking about raising taxes, inflation's growing, budgets are, not a free-for-all, that we as a council should also have a cap and not have unlimited spend. So that's why I proposed a $7,500 cap, which I thought was healthy at the time for that. So that is my proposal. I know that Councilwoman Turner, I don't know if you want to speak to your proposal, and then I believe we have two others as well.
Yes, I would appreciate that.
Oh, wait, could we talk about yours, Gary?
Yes.
That I want some questions answered on
Absolutely.
yours,
Yeah.
and then we'll do it with
Yes,
Diane and okay.
absolutely.
So, I like how you, on 2A, where, in the bottom where you said, until their allocated money is gone. Yes, and B, the council director will keep track of each council member's travel. I like that. I like how you took down on the bottom, number 3, where National Leagues of Cities, Congressional City Conference, you took the word "or" out of that because that was the big hang up right there. On the next page, you have ICSC Las Vegas. Okay, my understanding is this is only for the RDA president and vice chair, president chair, vice chair, whatever, is invited by the mayor. And we, as the council, pays for that, correct? Or do we want that to be? Okay.
My preference would be
Okay,
in there.
I
To
agree.
your point, we probably have to put RDA chair and vice chair.
Yes,
So I would accept that.
Okay,
As by invitation of the mayor. So I'm fine with that, but I would prefer that it's in the budget because it is
okay,
part of the
perfect.
same pot of money.
Perfect, I will go with that. And then on the very, very bottom, 9D, it says city-related phone calls. That's on all of ours. And I just am really confused on the city-related phone calls. We have our cell phones with us. We shouldn't be calling internationally for anything. That
I would think. Also, our phone comes out of our council phone allowance. So that one I have a little bit of a conflict with that. Other than that,
Did you have anything you wanted to add? I thought you had one line item message that you wanted to add.
oh, yes, and Gary, I was wondering, well, Diane, Councilwoman Turner can go up with hers, and then when she goes through hers, then I'll ask you on that point.
I'm fine striking city-related phone calls.
Okay.
From it. I don't think that it's necessary. In my mind, I think, Jennifer, we talked about this when we originally looked at it, and it was really like that extenuating circumstance. You had to make a collect call or had to call from your hotel room or some weird thing, but I'm fine with striking it. Yeah, so I'm fine to strike it.
Okay, because that could come out of our per diem.
Yeah.
The phone call could come out of our per diem that we get. Could we not? Okay, then that's just, okay, and I'll let Councilwoman Turner go now.
Sure.
Thank you. These are thoughts I've been having since the whole issue was brought up. So anyway, I've written some of them down, but I forgot them. As far as I'm concerned, it makes no sense to fix something that's not broken. The council travel has always been a function of the council budget. And I believe it should stay that way. We have already adopted a city travel policy which allows reimbursement for air or mileage, for conference registration, travel to and from the airport, and predetermined per diem. We usually go by the state allowance. I don't understand why a predetermined pot of money is a better way. During my 10-year tenure, we have not once exceeded our travel budget. I talked with Jan Lopez, who is the council director before Jennifer, and she advised that it did not happen during her 15 plus years and that she worked for the council. Jennifer also said that we have not had that issue since she's been here. So we've had no problem with our travel budget. I don't believe it is a council member's role to determine another elected official's education and travel needs or funding. I have been elected 3 times, served for almost 10 years, and walked my entire district at least 7 times. Not once has any citizen expressed concern regarding the council travel budget or specifically my travel. They assume I can make those decisions, so they don't have to. As I have said many times before, we don't govern in a vacuum. We need to know what's going on in the world to be effective. I got my master's degree in public policy, which has provided a great foundation. However, that was 30 years ago, and things have definitely changed. I believe to be an effective, relevant council member and well represent my constituency, ongoing education is vital. I understand it's expensive, however. I believe the bang is worth the buck. I know other council members disagree, and that is their right. If they don't believe that it has value for them, they are not required to attend any of the trainings or conferences. Murray has a very smart voting citizenry, and if there are abuses, they will hold us accountable. I believe our citizens want and deserve an educated council. One thing I believe we can do, however, that I think we have not been doing well in the last couple of years is reporting on the conferences. Jennifer, I am sure, is willing and able to ensure that that happens. So those are some thoughts that I've had regarding, the back and forth and all the information that we received.
Okay. Okay, Rebecca, do you have anything on those?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so line item number 7 is in the blue. I was wondering, Gary, if we could put that in yours where it says a reimbursement request that is not consistent with the council's travel policy may need to be approved by a majority of the council in a council meeting before a reimbursement is paid out. Okay, so we could have that. Once again, on the back page, D, 9D, or no, it's 11D, sorry. City-related phone calls, and we've already taken care of that. Diane, you still have under 3, PowerPoint 2, you have the word "or" in there. Now, do you want to strike that word "or" out, or do you want to leave it in where it says National Leagues of Cities? Do you want that out? Okay. And what about the next one where it says American Public Power Association Legislative Rally or National Conference? Would you like that word "or" in there, or would you like it striked?
I would like it out.
Okay, so you want that striked. Okay. Okay.
I just as a question, and you mentioned about us never going over budget, which I think is actually true because not everyone goes to everything.
All right.
If, can you remind me, Pam, I think you
Yes.
have the listing of what we've spent this year. If our highest spending council person, if every one of the 5,
The menu?
no, if every one of the
Oh.
5 spent as the highest council person, would we go over budget at that point?
Well, right now, the highest has spent $9,000, so 9 times 6 is,
Well, let's not include Jennifer for this, for the.
okay, so
purposes
9
of
times
this.
5 is,
45,000, we got budgeted 35,000, so that's definitely where I'm concerned. That yes, right now, it may not happen, but in the future, it can happen, and I think it's prudent to the voters, that's why. And what I've heard from the citizens, I mean, it's been pretty interesting what I've heard out there, that people are very concerned, and other cities are shocked that we do it, like that we have this, like literally, I've talked to 4 other cities and talked about this situation, just to make sure I wasn't off, and they are stunned.
So you think there should be a pot of money predetermined? What happens if I decide that I need to go to a conference that is really important, something that I need to learn about, and it goes over my 7,500?
Well,
Yeah, that's what I have. Then per the policy, you would, take that back. And that would be, and I mean, it's to be clear on other things that I've been, because I've been trying to do comparison to make sure. When we were talking about the pay increase, another thing that came up was around our reimbursement, or what do we call it, council allowance. We're the highest of any city. We are the top. And so,
Is that a bad thing?
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm saying we have to be realistic here that money, in my mind, money is not endless. And what I've already started making here from meeting every single person that has talked to me from tax increases and wanting to make sure that it's being saved. This is a way to ensure we're being saved.
Okay, so why would we have a pot of money and the rest of our departments have a budget? I mean, that, it
Well, I
just
think of it
makes
as-
no sense
I think
to
of it
me.
the same way.
We have a city policy.
We have a budget. We have a budget. If all of us spend
No, but that-
$7,500, we
but
have to
it's-
open a budget.
It's comprised of pots of money for each, and then you can't, what if I wasn't able to spend all mine, which probably is what would happen. You wanted to go somewhere and I could not then give you the money. I mean, it just seems so silly.
Change for something outside of policy.
It's just,
But I think that would be something if it's not in there.
but Jennifer, answer me this question. Do we not get one of these every year of what conventions, what conferences that are going to be coming up in the next year?
Your conferences you can go to are in this travel policy.
Right.
So we don't necessarily get that sheet.
No, that's a worksheet that I use in my budget.
Yeah.
Okay, but we could look at this, we could be given this in the beginning of this new budget year, which starts on Friday or Monday of next week, and you can give us what conferences we can go to, and we can say, well, I have X amount of dollars, so I'd like to go to DC. I'll go to the ULCT conference up in Salt Lake City, and I'll go to the one in St. George.
Not everybody has their funding up at the beginning of every fiscal year, so
Well-
not every conference.
Well,
Like their registration.
no,
expense.
they're estimates, but you can estimate from last year what is going to be spent. This is like a menu to me. I have X amount of dollars, and I have X amount of dollars to spend on this menu, and this is my menu. And so when I picked out the conferences, I was still under $5,000. Now, next year I may want to go to DC and I won't go to all the ULCT conferences. That's because I know I'm allotted so much money. You know, this always comes back to me. It's not our money. Up at the top, it says taxpayer. We have the council, we have the power, and we have the RDA. This isn't my money. This is the taxpayers' money. And I have to be very, very frugal when we're looking at an increase to our power possibly on their base rate. And I just am, and if we can't make a conference, then we can't make a conference. But I don't think the power should be paying for this. I think it should come out of our money, not the power money, because once again, the power money is coming from the taxpayers.
You know, I think,
Really quickly, sorry, Phil, can I just interject real fast? We have two other policies that I
Yeah.
maybe just want to hit on their points. Do you want to do that, or you're welcome to say your piece, but
mine's just kind of a general statement.
Okay.
Regardless of the amount of money that we want to allot for this, I think it's wise fiscal policy to have an established amount. You know, open-ended accounting is not wise. And if we've got the provision in the policy that if someone has a conference that they feel like it's necessary that they need to go to, and they can demonstrate that need to the rest of the council, and there's money in the overall council travel budget, then I have no problem in saying, yes, please go and come back and tell us what you've learned. But I just think open-ended, just, you know, it's bad
How is it
fiscal policy.
open-ended? I don't know how it's open-ended. If we have a budget,
Because
That's not
one
open-ended.
council person could use $30,000 of the money. It's possible. That's open-ended.
oh, I know, but
Okay? If there's not a limit, then it's open-ended. So that's why I would like to see some level of a limit. And beyond that, it requires consensus from the council to move on. That's my feeling.
if everyone went to everything on the sheet, it would be 25,000, just under 20.
but that doesn't happen.
I
Like
know,
I
I
said,
just
I've
think.
had a lot of experience in this, and people can't always go to the conferences or the training. I mean, I think it's important that they do, and we encourage that. That's what I'm saying. What I don't understand is when we have a city policy, why we need to deviate from from that when the rest of the city employees go by that. So I
I just think of us different because
understand.
we're elected, we're council. I just think of us as different. We're a different entity. We're not administrative appointed or hired employees. We're elected.
And we have a responsibility to make sure we're educated.
I agree.
And I think that's so important. But if you say you can only have this much, then to me discourages people from becoming educated. My proposal also would be that we, at the beginning of the year, that we all get with Jennifer and that she do a training on this. And then we propose who would like to, or who would be able to go to what conferences. Base our budget on that.
Any other things there before we'll just go to hers, Rosales. Councilwoman Dominguez's policy, do you want to talk about what's different in yours or go through the whole thing?
I'll just go through what's different. I'll start off with this. I'm in the industry of professional development and learning and knowing the value within any field is professional development is always, it is something that should be supported. It should be something that we continuously keep on trends and whatnot. What I don't want to see is that we pigeonhole ourselves to nothing for the future of the council, whether it's me or you or anybody on this council board or the council. I don't want to get to a place where we are dictating exactly what programs we should go to and what we feel would help us or dictate what we should do, because there's a lot of things that could help us in our role. I was just talking to a friend of mine out in Bountiful that there's I think it's like the ACSA or something with development. But there's a conference for that we've never even talked about. But it can help us in our legislative role in what we do. And I don't want to exclude us, and I've talked to Gary about this, I don't think we should exclude us exactly to this list if we want to go to another conference.
Didn't say we have to, I thought.
Right, with Gary's it
encouraged.
does.
So. Because I think it should be encouraged.
Well, yeah,
And those are what's available, that's what I said at the beginning. When we have our new council members, then she could go over there and find out what their needs are.
Well, and really, I've found a lot of value. I mean, I feel like when it comes to power generation, I understand that better, but I also know it's very volatile right now. And we could be put in a situation again next year where we're having to talk about rates again because there's no water, or something on the power grid that is so old goes out and we have to find alternatives, or we call back our power from California. There's so many things that can happen. But one thing I do know is when we do make face and we show up and we support the mayor, or he supports us in going to some of these conferences, which not everybody's been a part of. And I really, really, really hope that we can at least get there where everybody does who is a part of the selective body, because not all of us have the privilege to say, financially, we can pay for this out of pocket. Because in the future of this council, I would like to see a single mom up here because she cares about her community. But I wouldn't expect them to have to pay for this out of pocket either. And yes, the legislators the state only pays for X amount, but lobbyists take them out of town all the time. And we can find ourselves in that situation too, where lobbyists can approach city council members and say, hey, can you come to this, or can you come to that? And I would hate to put ourselves in that situation as well. Because then we're beholden to that and not necessarily the taxpayers. So I do want to change, at least the very least, the part that if the administration or the mayor or anybody or even ourselves feel like another opportunity presents itself at another conference, that we shouldn't be beholden